collect this money, and his argument is that they were given receipts.
Away from that, the filing of completed nomination forms for various positions in the opposition MPP national elections has commenced after 50 individuals picked forms to contest. As of the close of day on Saturday, 5 aspirants, including former national chairman Paul Afoko, had picked forms for the national chairman position. That's more.
A total of 50 nominees have picked forms to contest 11 positions in the upcoming national executive elections of the opposition New Patriotic Party. As of the close of day on Saturday, the last day of the purchase of forms, 5 aspirants, Paul Afoko, John Buedu, Boachie Jakun, Sammy Crab, and Bernard Entwibuesiapon had picked forms for the national chairman position. The incumbent national chairman, Stephen Ayesu Intim, is not seeking re-election. For the general secretary position, Eugene Boachie, Sylvester Tete, and Charles Dramina had picked forms to contest the incumbent Justin Codjoe Frimpong, who is seeking a second term. Media personality Gordon Asaribediakun, who had initiated moves to contest the National Communications Director position, has dropped from the race and endorsed Dennis Miracles Abuaje for the position. Dennis Miracles Abuaje is now in the race with Evans Kodo. The filing of completed nomination forms commenced on Sunday, August 23, and will close on Saturday, August 29.
Before we go, former Works and Housing Minister Codjoe Nkrumah says the Mahama administration's continued use of private sector participation in the Saglemi housing project vindicates the PPP model introduced under the previous government. His comments follow President Mahama's inspection of the project, with developers targeting 700 completed homes by March 2027.
So I think, first of all, this is testament to the fact that the PSP model works. And we need to mainstream it instead of always trying to wait for taxpayers' money or sovereign debt before we do these projects. There are still a lot of projects that we actually even tried to resolve, but time wasn't on our side. If you go to Koforidua, there are some of President Kufuor's housing projects that are still there. Even in the Ashanti region, there are some that are still there. It is important for this private sector approach to continue.
And finally, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Pandit Isiama, says the emergence of the 24-hour economy presents a unique opportunity for Ghana to roll everyone on board. And according to him, the success will increasingly depend on human capital, creativity, digital skills, and entrepreneurial mindset. He was speaking at the 33rd Graduate Students Association of Ghana, GRASAG Summit, held in Accra. Ghana's 24-hour economy is a national strategic policy that aims to transform Ghana from an import-dependent nation into a round-the-clock production and export hub, targeting over 1.7 to 2 million new jobs through maximized asset utilization and multi-shift operations. This subject featured prominently at the summit, which brought together academic professors, entrepreneurs, and graduate students. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, whose speech was read on his behalf by Bernard Atto Otabil, the Director of Communications, called for strategic shift in thinking to one of innovation and skills acquisition.
As we move towards a more dynamic and competitive economy, the question is no longer whether we have knowledge, but rather whether we can turn that knowledge into innovation, productive enterprises, and sustainable economic growth.
That's all the time we have on Morning News on 3FM 92.7. For more stories, head on to our website at 3news.com. My name is Noura Mohammed. Up next is Business News. Stay tuned. You're welcome to the business news on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Coming up this morning, investors oversubscribed government treasury bills by 8.841 billion cedis for 9th straight week as yields drop. Also, Ghana records $2.662 billion foreign direct investment in 2025 amid sustained investor confidence despite changing global economic conditions.
Zonda is also almost done with an investment of about 20 million. So I think that sitting on GRA board, I will ensure that our next report will include all these things.
Meanwhile, Ghana Investment Promotion Authority targets $11.4 billion in investments by 2026.
There's a Japanese company that announced $100 million over the next 4 years in agriculture. They're already in Ghana, so they've taken the positive steps, and these are investments that they'll be doing over time.
My name is Nura Mohammed. We'll bring you details of our headlines and other stories shortly. Stay with us here on 3FM 92.7. Let's settle for the details now. Government's Treasury bills auction has been oversubscribed for the 9th consecutive time, recording a strong investor demand in its August 21, 2026 outing amid declining yields. The sustained oversubscription and falling yields signal strong investor confidence in short-term government securities. This 3 Business News Desk report has more.
Investors offered a total of 14.269 billion cedis against government's initial target of 5.428 billion cedis. Government, however, accepted 5.854 billion cedis and rejected 8.414 billion cedis in bids across the 3 standard tenors. This translates to a subscription rate of 262.9% with an oversubscription of 8.84 billion cedis, representing 162.9% above target. The acceptance rate stood at 41.0% of total bids tendered, while accepted bids exceeded the initial target by 7.86%. The 91-day bill received offers totaling 3.124 billion cedis, with government accepting 2.403 billion cedis at a yield of 10.07%, down from 10.46% in the previous auction. For the 182-day bill, bids amounted to 1.204 billion cedis, while government took 766.21 million cedis at a yield of 12.08%, down from 12.27%. The longest tenor, the 364-day bill, received bids of 9.939 billion cedis, with government accepting 2.685 billion cedis at a yield of 11.59%, a sharp drop from 12.50% previously.
So our other headline story, Ghana recorded $2.6 billion in foreign direct investment in 2025, underscoring sustained investor confidence in the country's growing appeal as an investment destination despite shifting global economic conditions. The figure was disclosed in Accra at the launch of the 2025 Annual Investment Report by the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority, GIPA. The latest investment inflows highlights Ghana's continued position as an attractive destination for international investors.
The UAE company interest.
According to the report, 254 investment projects were registered through GIPA, the Ghana Free Zones Authority, and the Petroleum Commission during 2025, with the projects expected to generate 18,748 jobs when fully operational. In her keynote address, Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosue-Jare, said plans are underway to attract even more investments into the country.
Zonda is also almost done with an investment of about 20 million. Sonda, just to mention a few. So I think that sitting on GRA board, I will ensure that our next report will include all these things.
The report was jointly compiled by the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority, GIPA, Bank of Ghana, Petroleum Commission, and Ghana Free Zones Authority. For his part, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, emphasized the Ghanaian diaspora as an important source of foreign exchange.
Our diaspora, whose contributions continue to serve as a vital pillar of Ghana's foreign exchange inflows. The 2025 remittance performance, for example, is a testament to the confidence and enduring commitment of Ghanaians abroad.
Chief Executive of the Petroleum Commission, Fahad Castro, revealed that Ghana's upstream petroleum investment has rebounded by 20%.
The upstream sector recorded modest growth in investment in 2025 from 725 million in 2024 to 870 million. This represents approximately 20% positive growth, and this trend reflects renewed investor confidence.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority, Simon Maggi, says the authority is targeting about $11.4 billion in announced investments by the end of 2026 as Ghana intensifies efforts to attract capital into key sectors of the economy. He says the pipeline, which spans manufacturing, agriculture, mining, energy, technology, tourism and infrastructure, presents significant opportunities for job creation and economic growth.
The UAE company interested in setting up an AI free zones work. They've come into Ghana, they work with the Free Zones Authority, they work with other agencies, and they want to see how they can, execute this investment in our country. Many of others have come into the manufacturing sector. On the President's Store, there's a Japanese company that announced $100 million over the next 4 years in agriculture. They're already in Ghana, so they've taken the positive steps, and these are investments that they'll be doing over time. There are companies, as the minister mentioned, KEDA and others that are in Western region, who have already commenced the construction of the floating glass factory, which is a $250 million investor. The likes of Olan have already commissioned their pasta factory in Tema. So they are taking the positive steps, and therefore our objective is to work with them to deal with some of the red tapes, deal with some of the bottlenecks, to ensure that these investments, as promised, actualize in our country.
You heard the voice of Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority, Simon Maggi, saying that the authority is targeting about $11.4 billion in announced investments by the end of 2026. Before we go, let's take a look at how the cedi is faring against major trading currencies and how some of the key commodities are also faring on the global markets.
On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis 12 pesos. It gained 2 pesos. The British pound is selling at 15 cedis 17 pesos. It gained 4 pesos. The euro is selling at 13 cedis. It gained 4 pesos. However, be guided that these figures will be higher at a forex bureau near you. On the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $94.39 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,063.07 per ounce, up by $86.49. Cocoa is trading at $6,034 per ton, down by $30.
That'll be all for business news on Sunrise. For more business stories, do check out our website, news.com. My name is Nura Mohammed. The rest of the Sunrise team is on standby. Stay tuned.